Quick, come on, get out of here. It's my daughter, she's a zombie, come on! Maggie, released in 2015 and is directed by Henry Hobson, who made his directorial debut with this movie, but is mainly known for his graphic designer title sequences for Snow White and the Huntsman, Robin Hood, Sherlock Holmes, and The Lone Ranger. And this film is starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Abigail Breslin, and Jolie Richardson. And the reason why we're talking about Maggie today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from a big-time contributor and supporter of this channel, David Klimov. Thank you very much for this recommendation, part of your little bundle that you sent me at the end of last year. And I had heard about this movie. I had heard, oh, this is one of those Arnold Schwarzenegger Renaissance movies around that time where you were seeing him in a lot of films outside of like the big action star. Like he was in this one, he was in The Last Stand, I want to say. Haven't seen that one, and this is my first time viewing this movie, of course, and I gotta say, this is one of the most surprising films I've ever seen. Every time I was expecting it to go down the action-y horror sci-fi Walking Dead type story arc of where there's always this climactic battle. Every time I thought it was going down that route, it pulled itself back and kept itself a dramatic picture, and I really appreciated that. So thank you very much, David, for the recommendation. If anyone else out there also wants to be like David and help support me and contribute to this channel, you can select the QR code that is in the bottom left corner of your screen right now. Send over your donation of $5 or more with your movie recommendation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a little shout out, just like what I did with David Klimov here. In the not too distant future, a zombie pandemic has spread over the country and the world to where several people have been bit, and this zombie virus takes about 2 weeks for it to take hold of each person. Unfortunately, one of the most recent victims of a zombie bite is a teenage girl by the name of Maggie, whose father recently picks her up from a hospital in contamination area. And the rest of the film follows this father trying to decide what's the best outcome for his daughter's future. Does he send her back into containment where she will eventually become a zombie and a prisoner in the building, or will he do the harder thing and euthanize her? And like I said before, I kept expecting this movie to take a turn to a standard zombie film. This was 2015. The Walking Dead was huge at this time, and we had so many different zombie projects and properties out there. The George A. Romero zombie films, Warm Bodies, iZombie, everything was zombies back then. And they all followed the same formula of the people who haven't been bitten trying to run away and find sanctuary in this world until eventually the zombies heard them and came a-crashing and knocking on their door, and then we would have a home invasion type storyline climactic battle. But that never happens here, and I'm sorry if that's a little spoiler for those of you that haven't seen this movie. Not a lot of people did, but that's okay because this movie was made on a shoestring budget of $1.4 million, which, I mean, to me, $1.4 million sounds like a lot of money, but in the film industry, that is nothing. Especially when you have a big-time actor and politician, really, in Arnold Schwarzenegger signing on and starring in this thing. But I love when films are constrained by its budget like this, because that's when you get the nice personal and story moments like this, as opposed to relying on action and gore and jump scares and shotgun battles with zombies. We're not relying on any of that. We are relying on tiny little character moments between this father and this daughter, and really a stepmother in here who also wants to care for Maggie, but Maggie is not her daughter. And it gets to a point where she kind of washes her hands of the entire thing and says, all right, I'm gonna go stay with my sister, and that's where my kids are hanging out right now during this whole situation, so peace out. Sorry, bye. But this father made a promise to his wife, who I'm assuming, I can't remember if they talk about it in the film, I'm sure they do, and I just missed it, who also died from this zombie virus, but he made a promise to always look after her, and he was not going to give her up. I guess you have the choice. If one of your family members is bitten, you can either just kill them right there, they can take this little cocktail that I guess is extremely painful up until the moment when they die, or you can send them back to the hospital and where they're put into containment, where they make it sound like, oh yeah, it's fine, we'll be with you the entire time, but they actually just throw them into a room where they slowly turn completely into a zombie, and then they're just in there eating each other. And this is, I would say, I haven't seen all of his work, but I would say this is the best acting performance I have seen from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, this is shocking. This is surprising to me. The man is known for being just a beefy, muscled up dude or a kindergarten cop saying hilarious lines in his outrageous Austrian accent. Here he is delivering an emotional, heartfelt performance of this father who is conflicted with this terrible, hard decision because he has the responsibility to keep the community and the society around him safe, all of the other people who are living in their houses safe from his daughter, who he knows is turning. Like, there's no cure, there's nothing to help her, there's nothing to save her, but he still holds on to her. And, like, it gets me teary-eyed just thinking about it, and just seeing him try to still contain his emotions, but you can also tell that he's just feeling them. It's like, well done, Arnold. I wasn't expecting that from you. And Abigail Breslin, I also think, is fantastic, dealing with this virus, this cancer that's inside of her, that she knows is taking over her, and she doesn't know when it's going to happen, but eventually she knows she's going to turn. She's seeing all these things happening. She breaks her finger at one point. She doesn't feel a thing, so she cuts it off, and her blood has turned black. Like, she knows what's going on. And here she is. Here's Maggie holding on to that small glimmer of hope that maybe things will get better, and maybe if I relax, or I do certain things, if I live a certain healthy lifestyle, if I go visit friends and hang out with them, maybe all of my worries and this thing that I'm living with inside of me will go away. Just unfortunately, it doesn't here. And again, even up till the last scene of this movie, you think it's going to turn into this bloody, gory, horrifying thing, and instead we get a very tender and loving moment between daughter and father. It's just beautiful. I love it when a movie makes me think, oh, we're going down a certain route, and then we do a 90-degree turn, and it's something completely different. Whether it's good or whether it's bad, I just love it when it happens. I think it's a very brave thing for a filmmaker and for an artist to do when it comes to telling a story. I'm gonna give Maggie 4.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good.
So guys, if you've seen Maggie, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I'm releasing next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.